What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a review for you. Let's get into it. All right, so I did a video just recently stating that because I did a overview in my pass around version of this sample that I got to experience, that I wasn't going to do a full video. But what I decided to do, because I didn't have a disassembly video for this one, I decided that I am going to go ahead and do a little bit more of an in-depth review and add the disassembly to this one because it's probably going to be a little bit shorter because of that. So we're going to be taking a look at the Divo Knives Nip. This one here is the purple, I forget what it's called. It's camo carbon, purple, I think the purple pearl. I'm not sure what it is, what it's called, guys. I apologize. But I really like this one here because even though it's hard to see on screen, it does have the purples in it. And you can see that really well in person, especially under really nice lighting. But I also think that it looks good, when it looks like it's more of a blacked out handle. Let's go ahead and do some quick size comparisons. That pocket clip does cause it to sit up, so I am going to flip it over for this. Here it is against the Para 3 lightweight. You can see it's a very small knife, and then we'll bring out a budget comparison. The more Jarl, which is more medium sized in EDC. I just grabbed that blade a little bit there, trying to do it this way. So you can see this is a fifth pocket pouch companion carry knife. That is what I would constitute an alternative to a modern traditional slip joint. I do have that. Where did I put it? I just had it on the desk. Oh my gosh, I pushed it way back here, guys. Here it is against my Jack Wolf Midnight Jack, which I think the Midnight Jack being longer does make it look like the nip is smaller, but the nip has more girth to it and has that 50-50 choil. So I would still say it's a comparable alternative if you're not into slip joints. So I do like it for that. I don't know why I had that way back there. Let's go ahead and weigh the knife because honestly, I don't remember what it weighed in at. So since we're doing this, we might as well check it, right? Coming in, I'm surprised that this is not right at or under 2 ounces. That does surprise me. I wonder if it's because of all the titanium hardware on there. I'm not really sure, but that is surprising. I expected it to come under 2, but it's coming in at 2.1. And it probably probably is not noticeable, that difference anyway. So let's go ahead, kick it down to the garage. I did decide I also was going to do some cutting with the S90V because I realized in my overview review that I didn't get to do the cut test. So let's kick it down to the garage. All right, let's check out this little guy and see what it's all about. I did strap it up a little bit because it was used, but just a little bit to try to get some sharpness out of there. Hollow ground feels great, guys, going through that paper. I got some single ply cardboard here. We're going to check this out. Yeah, no surprise there. It's a really thin blade stock, a little guy, nice thin edge. Let's check and do a couple of draw cuts here. Yeah, nice clip out there. Yeah, very easy to do the detailed cuts with this one. Oops, I went into the sharpening tool there. Let me move my finger up to help me guide it. It is very tight, and it is a little hard to control because it's a small knife. So, I mentioned I wouldn't really use this for these types of cutting tasks, but very nice edge on the S90V. I feel like this could go a really long time between sharpenings, and truth be told, for a 3-finger knife, it's quite comfortable. Let's kick it back up to the table. So there you go. It is a slicer, 100% a slicer. The S90V really had good bite. This has excellent slicing geometry, being that it is hollow ground. I just wouldn't use it to break down boxes, right? Definitely something really good to cut some loose string, to get into your packages, or any other, light duty task. I would say if you're on a tabletop and you need to do some draw cut or detailed work, this does have a nice acute tip, and it would really excel at that. So if you just need it really quick to cut a label or something out, this is really going to be good for that. Ergonomically, they did a fantastic job. That 5054 choil really does make this a full 3-finger grip for me. I fall off the back, so no pinky for me. The way the slant works, though, if I want, I can cram that pinky into it and use it to kind of let my pinky rest so that it's not completely just bare and out there, not holding on to anything. So it is nice for that. I did struggle a little bit with the cutting because it is small and I have, larger hands. So a little bit of a challenge there. I do appreciate that. I like the chamfering with the knurling here. It's very attractive and it's actually pretty functional. I can feel that every time I grab the knife. I also do notice this pocket clip, it is shorter, so it is very stout, guys. This thing, I have a hard time putting it away because I use my knife roll for my smaller knives. And then in the 5th pocket, I noticed it as well when I went to put it in there. It just wants to bind up and then catch and jump over. But adversely, it does have excellent retention, so it's not going to just fall out. Coming back out, though, it's very smooth. It's very, very smooth. So excellent clip retention. I have not had it become a tapper, but I have been just trying to work it, bend it a little bit to get rid of some of that tension, because I think that would really work. I also noticed that the ano is starting to wear a little bit around the tip here. I did pick this one up secondhand, guys, so I did notice that. Not unusual, and if you know how to anodize, really an easy fix. I would just climb slowly if you've never done it before, 1, and 2, if you're trying to match a color. This one here, I would probably start at like 75 volts and work my way up to try to match this higher voltage pink purple color that they chose for this. And then once it kind of matches everything, I would just stop there. Also, with the edges here, sometimes the way that the heat affects it when you're grinding out the shape, it can cause it to not want to, it may want to be lighter out on the tips than it is right on that surface. But overall, I feel it a little bit. I don't know how much more you could have knocked it down. Does it make it uncomfortable? No. Jimping on the spine works too. It's not overly aggressive. It's actually a little dull, but I think for this, since you're not really, it's not intended, in my opinion, to be used hard use. I think it's just fine. I think it works really well. It's a little too far back for me for the pinch grip. For me, for the pinch grip, I want to land like right behind the edge of the Warncliffe. Reverse Tonto, whatever you want to call that, whatever suits your heart. For me, it works really well here, and it gives you just enough behind that edge to have, use of a decent amount, especially if you're trying to get into a box or something like that. Really good access to the lock bar. It took me a minute to remember this one, but that flipper tab that's hidden here, which is a nice touch, just falls down onto the tip of the thumb, and then it's a shaker. Shake it home. Light blade. Good detent, going to make it a shaker, not a guillotine. That's going to work really well. Really nice jimping on the flipper tab here, and it flies, guys. Can't fail it. Tried my best, can't get it to fail. Reverse flicks actually works pretty good. What I'm doing here is I'm kind of sandwiching it, and then using the rest of my thumb to push into the palm, and then I'm able to easily flick that. No issues whatsoever, and again, the sounds are really good. Nice action on the bearings. These are caged bearings in here. I think they're caged. Dang, I can't remember. We'll find out in the disassembly here in a minute. Can't remember because I didn't take it apart, but I want to say that I saw it on one of Kevin's videos that showed that. You can actually thumb flick this. It's a little awkward because it's small, but you can thumb flick it. I was surprised by that. I do hit right there with my thumb, so for me that is a little bit of an issue, but if you have smaller hands, it may work really well. Great performer, guys. I'm going to cut ahead. I am going to disassemble from the pocket clip side, and this looks like it is all T8 hardware. Can't remember. It's been a minute. Yep, T8. And I can feel the Chicago screw on the other side coming out. I think this is all titanium. Yeah, all titanium construction. So I'm going to put it in the swedge there. I don't think that screw goes all the way through, but is it going to get in the way? Yeah, I'm going to move the pocket clip out because I don't want my bit rubbing against the pocket clip. So just for security, yeah, it's not threaded into anything outside of the liner. So I'm just going to move that. I'm sure this is probably a Chicago also. Yeah, I can feel it moving on the other side. So we'll take that out. Now that we have that done, I'm just going to kind of hold these screws in with my index finger and that pivot in, and then we'll go ahead and take the pivot bolt out, which was just on there snug. It wasn't overly tightened. Can't, yeah, I haven't disassembled this one. I can't remember if I took it apart to clean it or not. Yeah, no, I definitely haven't taken this apart. Uh, so good thing that we're doing this. Sometimes I can't remember what I have worked on and what I haven't worked on, so I do apologize for that. I am going to wiggle it off and just clean everything down. With it being carbon fiber, I'm not really too concerned about it sticking for the disassembly, so I'm just going to clean that excess lube off. I didn't realize it, but the stop pin is press fit, and so I will put a little bit of lube there. Not that that stop pin should be riding on it, but just, as a precaution. So since we're doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and take everything out except for the Chicago screws. Whoops, there goes the bearings. And does the liner pop up? Let me think for a second. I'm going to pop that out. I'm really taking this one down. Do I have to take the Chicago screws out is what I'm wondering. Boy, I wish I had fingernails. Let me see. Yes, I do. Okay, so we're going to break this one all the way down just because I don't think that extra lube is necessary. And it is not Chicago. I apologize. I just felt it moving on the other end, I guess because it was coming loose. So I'm going to stick these all together over here. Break this all the way down. Yeah, this is just an opportunity to clean it. I mean, I did pick it up on the second hand. I doubt that the previous owner, I don't think, would have oiled up the liners. But since we're here, we're just going to go ahead, take care of all that while we're here. And then I'll throw this back together really fast, guys. This is usually do not need to take it down quite this far, to be completely honest. I'm just surprised that the standoffs came apart that far. So let's go ahead. You can, fast forward a little bit to the reassembly if you're good with what you've seen. I totally get it. Okay. So that is a little bit more snug now, thankfully. All right, let's put this back on. Okay. All right. They do have a little bit of lube. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. They do have a little bit of lube on the titanium, but since titanium is corrosive resistant, I'm just going to clean it and reinstall it. Almost did that upside down. Okay, now we're ready to reassemble everything. Let's start by cleaning the pivot itself, and we will throw a little bit of lube on here, as I almost lost that top. Okay, so we'll just, all right, please stand. That thing is warped and it just wants to fall all the time. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to work it evenly across, and then we are just reusing the factory bearings. For this one, I really think that it would be totally unnecessary to install skiffs in this. This is not a knife that has a ton of action because of its size. Plus, these bearings are really nice. You're going to want to, I personally, match it the way that it came, which is stamped open side facing the blade as that thing tries to run away. I'm going to try to work the lube in really good. That's why I'm taking such broad strokes now so that it doesn't seep out. All right, there we go. Now we got to turn our attention to the blade. Let's go ahead and clean all of this up. Actually, I have a Q-tip that I didn't use the very tip of, so we'll use that to clean the detemp ball hole. That looks good. And we'll clean this off as well. And this is pretty well broken in already. It's got a track and everything going. All right. Oh, almost forgot. Let me do it this way. I'm going to just drop a dab on there and drop that on the knife. Grab the other bearing. Let me clean that off because I can't remember if I did. I don't think that I did. Yeah, just a little dirty. And then drops on a couple of the balls, not too many. And again, I'm just trying to have a very thin light coat on there. Go ahead and just dab it there and there. We can reinstall the liner, which looks really clean. So at least I know the entire knife is clean, guys. There we go. Reinstall the outer scale, and we will start with the pivot first. I lost my driver for a moment. Okay, that feels pretty good. Let's install the Chicago. Nope, that's the wrong screw. I was like, wait, that's really long. It's not a Chicago screw. Why do I keep saying Chicago screw? Let's reinstall the body screw. All right. That feels nice and snug. Now we'll reinstall the pocket clip. I may wait a little while before I touch it up just to see if it continues to wear. Or if I want to go a little bit darker purple. I think if you go up in voltage, you can go darker. Oh, I probably shouldn't have tightened that first till I got this tightened. There we go. Sorry, am I off screen? If I was off screen, I apologize. Alright, that feels good. Got a little bit of play. Ooh. Okay. I think the play is gone, but I think I went too tight. Alright. Back it off slightly. Okay. Let's see. Go play. I think I'm still just a little too tight. Let me see. Yeah, just a little too tight. Alright, that moved. No play. And we're falling shut. There you go. There is your disassembly and maintenance on the tail end of the revisit review of the Divo Nip. Now I do know they are working on a budget variant of this, and they are supposedly adding some additional blade shapes to it. So if you missed out and you're wondering about that, or you felt like it was a little out of your price range, they are coming out with a little bit more of a budget friendly version. But I haven't heard whether or not they're also going to be bringing a version 2 of this out alongside with that or at a later date. I'm just trying to break it in. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, comments, is subscribed, and watches the video all the way to the end. It really does help the channel, and I appreciate that. Special shout out to my members. You guys make it happen. I love you guys. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.